All right, so we're going to have Teresa come up, and she's going to give her testimony, all right?
Good morning, everybody. So, this is a complete different person that you see. I would not be able to be up here to speak. I was born in Hawaii. I had a very rough childhood, physically and emotionally abused by my parents. My dad would always tell me that they should have aborted me. My mom tried to drown me in the bathtub. Through it all, I can get over the physical abuse part. Emotional is very hard. The worst part is once something comes out of your mouth, you don't forget. You know, and through all that, going to school, no kids wanted to play with me. I would stand just with my hands all folded on the playground, watching all the other kids play. You know, it hurt as a child until I would see the firemen going up the street every day in their fire trucks. And back then, the firemen would be in the back of the truck, holding the two firemen in the back of the truck. Every day when they would go up that hill, they would give me a big wave and would put a smile on my face. So those of you that know me with the firemen, this is the reason why I love firemen so much. They were my first friends. So we grew up, ended up marrying a man, and I did try to, when my dad told me to overdose one day, I did try to commit suicide. It didn't work. So, found a man, got pregnant, you know, lived out of wedlock for a while. Took me to Vegas, forced me into stripping. I had no choice. I wasn't married, but hey, I was used to abuse. If I didn't do it, he would beat me. Till one day, someone came in there and saved me. This guy wanted me to go and do a private dance. I went in there. He's like, no, I don't want you to do a private dance. He put out his badge. It was a police officer. Asked me, why am I doing it? And I told him. He's like, you're better than this. Yeah, I got my butt beat because I didn't want to do it no more. So I ended up having another kid. Mind you, still didn't marry this man, but knowing he would beat me, had another kid from him. Then he ended up joining the military. I'm like, okay, maybe the military is going to change him. Nope. It didn't. Stayed in that marriage for 12 years. I ended up having 4 kids throughout the marriage. Stayed with the abuse. It took my kids, when I found out my kids were being abused. I won't get into detail because that is their testimony. I couldn't live and bear with what happened with my kids. So this time I decided, okay, let me overdose again and take it with alcohol this time. Still didn't work. I was in a naval hospital when that one happened. And I could hear the voices, which was probably the nursing staff. You know, they did start CPR on me. So my heart did stop that time. But what I'm here to tell you folks is I didn't really know Jesus But Jesus puts you into situations so you can help others. When I was young, my sister-in-law touched me, another female. So when we're here talking about gays, we don't know what may have happened to a person when they were young. So when it comes up, that whole thing comes back to me. And that's why I am able to reach out to gay people now. I'm able to reach out to people that has had abortions. Jesus brought this man into my life, my husband. When he had asked me out, first I didn't want to go out, but it's his testimony to tell you how he got me. But it's so weird. This week, I found the very first card I gave him. Marcelino, I will always love you. Long before I ever knew you, I loved the idea of you. Before I ever heard your voice, I listened for its assurance. Before I ever felt your touch, your desired in gentleness, before I returned your kiss, I longed for its passion. Long before I knew you, I knew that I wanted only you. And when I found you, I knew I would love you forever. I didn't turn my life completely around till about a year ago. Pastor George called me and asked me if I wanted to go to a women's conference. Mind you, I'm afraid of flying. But when he asked me, I was like, oh, okay. Then when I brought it up to my husband, he goes, well, you have anxiety in flying. And I'm going to go. I already told him I'm going to go. I can't thank Pastor George enough for sending me to that conference. Because when I heard that lady's testimony, she gave birth to a baby, had a stroke after she gave birth. She's in a wheelchair, and she does not even let that get to her. She said, I have life. Jesus gave me life, even if I'm in a wheelchair. I came home from that conference. When I walked in the house, I told my husband, I'm giving everything to Jesus. Everything. My sickness, my health, everything. I'm not going to complain about pain. I'm just going to pray over it. There's people that's worse off than me. Now what I can say is when that devil whispers in my ear that I can't get through the storm, I can yell back at him and I can say, I'm a child of God. I'm a woman of faith. And I am the storm. Satan, get out. So I just want to thank you, Pastor George, with your words every week. Don't go left. Don't go right. Move forward and follow Jesus. And this is where I am. Jesus, 2024, bring the spirit back to the United States.
Awesome. I'm going to do a spoiler. Do you know how he got her? He dressed up as a fireman. No, that's